Taxation and money printing are the fuels that feed the government beast. So let's study newly revealed information about how Kamala Harris and, in some cases, Donald Trump are going to engage in more of it. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. First, the economic fundamentals. Money printing to feed the government, well, of course, it causes the hidden tax of lost buying power for all the monetary units that are out there. It inspires malinvestments and leads to the boom-bust cycles, so well explained by the Austrian School of Economics. But often, the majority of the population, they don't recognize the malfeasance, while the government and central bank are engaging in it. Most folks only recognize the effects of the inflation of the money supply, the higher prices that they see, the layoffs that they see, and of course the economic depressions. Likewise, the taxers, well, they either couch their acquisitive desire for more money and power in the vainglorious envy rhetoric of Marx. You know what I mean, the take stuff from those you think have more than you do, or they hide the tax increases by forcing those tax increases onto sectors of the economy that many Americans either miss or think of in terms of protectionism. Thus, it's no surprise that Kamala Harris wants to explode the debt-driving welfare state by offering $25,000 home payments to first-time buyers. And, of course, she wants to shift the burden of medical bills from those who got the medical care to others who did not. And it's no surprise that she wants to weigh down the economy and harm consumers with even more burdensome taxes. A burden that the New York Times reports is estimated to cost $5 trillion over 10 years. Indeed, as Eric Revel reports for Fox Business, Harris is intent on driving more U.S. companies out of the country and hiking the costs of consumers by pushing up to 28% the corporate tax that Donald Trump and congressional conservatives in 2017 brought down from 35% to 21%. And Breitbart's Sean Moran digs into more of what Harris is pushing. Quote, Harris also claimed she would uphold President Joe Biden's promise to not raise taxes on those who make $400,000 or less per year. Despite this claim, the Biden-Harris administration has increased Internal Revenue Service enforcement, which is estimated to take $20 billion from working-class Americans. End quote. Oh, but wait, there's more. If you would like to sell stocks or invest in stocks or ventures that offer dividends, well, watch out. Quote, Harris's economic proposal would also raise the capital gains and dividends tax more than twice as high as China's, or 44.6%. China has a capital gains tax of 20%, end quote. And Moran quotes the hardworking folks of Americans for Tax Reform, noting, quote, ATR wrote, China's capital gains tax rate is 20%. Is it wise to have higher taxes than China? Under the Harris plan, the combined federal-state capital gains tax exceeds 50% in many states. California will face a combined federal-state rate of 59%. New Jersey, 55.3%. Oregon at 54.5%. Minnesota at 54.4%. And New York State at 53.4%. End quote. And even if people don't sell something, the government under Harris will adopt Liz Warren's favorite fantasy and tax so-called rich folks for what they oxymoronically call unrealized gains. Yeah, you got it. No sale and no price affixed to any sale. Just the government thugs studying you and your property and telling you to hand over even more cash. Enjoy seeing the taxes rise as inflation pushes up the unrealized appreciation of your unsold stuff. Quote, the plan calls for an annual 25% minimum tax on unrealized gains for those making more than $100 million. Unrealized gains are, on paper, gains in an investment per Investotopia. Gains are only realized when an investor sells an investment for more than its initial price. End quote. Which reminds us of one of the key lessons of the Austrian School of Economics, which is that only in a free market, upon the point of the market participants agreeing to buy and sell, is a price revealed. And of course, that price is then offered to others as information so that they can adjust their own market behavior. Personal preferences and valuations can fluctuate from person to person and even from hour to hour on an individual level. And thus the ethical approach of leaving one's neighbor in peace also is the constructive economic position to allow for market functionality. Don't expect Harris or other collectivists to either recognize that fundamental fact or care about the ethics of arrogant government-backed theft. Morin also notes, quote, other major Harris tax increase proposals include having small business owners pay taxes on their individual tax returns up to 39.6% from the current 37%, imposing a second death tax, a mandatory capital gains tax at death in addition to the current death tax, imposing a 21% global minimum corporate tax rate, which goes beyond the Organization for Economic Development's OECD current 15% global minimum tax rate, quadrupling the tax on stock buybacks, which would impact Americans' 401ks and other retirement accounts. A 30% federal excise tax on electricity used in cryptocurrency mining. A $37 billion tax on American energy. And a 32% increase in Medicare taxes. End quote. Curiously, Harris's desire to target the electricity usage of crypto miners neglects to consider that those miners already pay for the electricity, just like everyone in the market does. And it neglects to consider this very important fact that the U.S. government uses vast amounts of electricity to monitor us and will increase that need for electricity to keep track of those evil crypto miners. Of course, her plans are acquisitive and immoral, and they're economically disastrous. And as I noted earlier, they're often hidden behind either the rhetoric of tax the rich, whatever the politicians define as rich this week, or behind a primary business target, thus hiding the predation from the sight of many unknowing consumers themselves. It's grist for the mill for anyone who wants to justifiably criticize her immorality and her lack of economic understanding, but it's not something one ethically can mention without also noting that while Donald Trump would keep the corporate tax rate where it is and would not institute many or any of the other onerous taxes Harris proposes, he proposes a return and amplification of taxes that he instituted in his previous term and which, as Erica York reported for the Tax Foundation in June, Donald Trump's political pursuit of tariffs on products such as steel, aluminum, washing machines, dishwashers, and many goods from Chinese sellers, to name a few, placed a massive burden on the economy. And she notes, as we have at MRC-TV, that Biden has continued the tariff tax folly, sucking an additional $3.6 billion out of our wallets and the budgets of domestic business people who rely on foreign goods to keep their own production costs low and please American consumers. Thanks for watching, one and all. Please like and subscribe. Find us on Rumble, where they don't censor us. And of course, you can find us on YouTube, where they do censor us. Please follow us on Rumble and share the videos with as many people as possible. Find us also inside Facebook and on Instagram and TikTok, and of course on X. And please visit MRCTV.org. Check out what the whole team is doing, and check out the MRC Store. Please consider contributing to the Media Research Center as well. Of course, if you want to find me, I am on Gab as @GardnerGoldsmith, and I'm on Twitter/X as @GardGoldsmith. Thanks for watching, everyone. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.